Good morning, guys. So, how are all of you doing? Today is Sunday, and as usual, we decided to go on a ride. We have not yet decided where to go, but we just started. Yesterday, my wife was not well, so I decided to go alone for a ride. But it started raining, and then I had to come back, so it was no good to upload a vlog. This blue bike cover is from Rida. I almost ordered 4 covers in Amazon, but none of them fitted. In the description they do mention it's a ZX6R cover, but when you get it, it just doesn't fit. These are just general covers. So then again I ordered one from Drift. That was good, but it was pretty heavy. If I'm trying to put it alone, I was not able to do it, and that would scratch the body if it's heavy. The Rida one is not way too light, but good enough for you to put it alone. Compared to my last video, you would see that today's video actually looks a little wider because I've got the KNF Concept wide angle lens. It is around 12mm. Here I have used the black mist filter and the KNF Concept wide angle, and it protrudes way too much, and I did see some vignetting there, and the image also looked a little softer. On top of it, if I try to use the CPL filter, then I do get proper vignetting. So definitely the CPL filter or NDPL filter would not work if you're putting the wide angle lens. If you're only putting the wide angle lens, then it's fine, but if you're trying to combine it with something else, then it doesn't work that great. So if you're looking for motion blur with 1/58th of a second or 1/68th of a second, depending on what is the frame rate of your video, then I would suggest to use only the ND or the NDPL filter, but you cannot combine with the wide angle. So you will be around 20mm wide at max. Every time I come out of my apartment, I'm a little worried whether the traffic will be there or are the roads blocked. But luckily enough, there was not much traffic and we were able to make our way through to Hoskote. Now why Hoskote? Because that's where all the rides start from. Yesterday almost whole day it was drizzling, and today also it looked pretty gloomy and cloudy, so we were skeptical whether it would start raining. If you're in a car, that's great, you're still inside, but if you're in a bike, it's a lot of mess. Specifically if you have a camera and equipment, it gets very difficult to quickly pack it and then ride. This video was shot before the service, so I have not yet changed the exhaust. You are still hearing the stock exhaust, but the later videos that I'll upload will have the M4 for sure. In my last video I had mentioned that I was touching around 400 kilometers and I needed to go close to 1000 to give to service, but I was not able to do that. So in this video I will hit around 600 kilometers in total before I give for service. And you would also notice that I'm hitting beyond 65. I've reached 100 also today. I tried to rev the engine a little harder today, not too much but a little harder, to reach at least 100 and then give it for service. There were not many riders that we found in Hoskote today, and that could be because it was raining yesterday full day, so today maybe the riders did not come. We just had 3-4 of them. We've still not decided the exact location where we are going, but that totally depends on the weather conditions. And if it starts drizzling, and then again, yeah, we'll have to return back. There is no choice, but we will see how it goes and accordingly take the step forward. Now yesterday I was on the same road. I drove from Hoskote around 10-15 kilometers and it started getting really dark. I could see water on the roads, so it had already drizzled a bit. So I took a U-turn around Annapurna and then I came back home, so that was not a long ride. But today we'll see how it goes. I do see some clouds ahead, but we will see. If the sun comes out, then good. If not, then again bad luck for today. While using the quick shifter, I noticed one thing, that if you are at lower speed, the gear change from second to third is a little glitchy. But if you are at higher speeds and if you're shifting from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, that's pretty smooth. In my Daytona we did not have the quick shifter, so I never used it before. So when I was changing gears, I was kind of default going towards the clutch, or if I'm trying to use the quick shifter, then I was keeping my throttle a little less, and that felt a little jerky. So instead what I did is I continued revving or giving my throttle and changed gears using the quick shifter, and at higher gears it did shift smoothly. The wide angle view does look a little better, but the image is a little distorted towards the corner, and it's a little softer versus the original lens, versus using the wide angle lens, but gives me a little bit leeway because I can see the handles, my wrist, and the mirrors look a little far away. But with the 20 that is the original Pocket 3 lens, it looked a little too close to me, and the wide perspective was missing. Still a cinematic view, but this is also good. But then again, as I mentioned, that the lens keeps protruding a bit, so there is a chance that you might hit it and it might fall off. Regardless, the magnet is very strong, it should not, but there is still a chance. I'm actually waiting for the Action 6 to be launched. The rumors were there that by 24th of October it would launch, but it's still not there, and now we're suspecting around November. And also there is news that the Pocket 4 will also launch with dual lens. Now that would make it really amazing, because that zoom lens does help in getting a little bit of bokeh and blurriness. Now technology keeps changing very fast, just like iPhone. DJI also keeps launching their products every year, and the moment a new one comes, you feel like upgrading, and that's a lot of investment that goes in, and then you have to sell your product at a much lower cost. So this is a cycle. iPhone also has that cycle. DJI is also following that. Even if the Pocket 3 is a fantastic camera, it does really well if you're hand holding it, but if it's on a bike, it's a little troublesome, and pressing that button on off, aligning that angle, it's a little difficult because the screen is actually facing forward, so I can't even see what is the perspective I'm getting unless you connect your mobile phone with the DJI Mimo app and then see how the angle is and then set it accordingly. But if you're riding, then if you're continuously doing that, then the whole purpose of riding is gone and you kind of lose the charm. So that's why I'm waiting for the Action 6 to launch. If it doesn't launch fast, then probably I'll go for the DJI Nano. That's pretty small and can fit anywhere. I'm getting a little impatient actually to wait so long. I have to keep using the Pocket 3. It's a hassle for sure. It's doing its job. I see the footage is good, but then again, you need a little convenience and focus on the ride rather than focusing on the camera. It felt like it would start raining, so I kind of stopped at Annapurna Grand, but my wife said let's give it a try. It's still not started raining, but let's see how far we can go. So I did stop at Annapurna Grand, but then decided let's still make a move and see how far we can go. If the sun comes out, amazing, we will continue, or else wherever it is we will stop. So we continue our ride, and we'll see how far we can go today. Today I was not wearing the denim, but rather was wearing the riding pant, and it did not have a rear pocket, so I had kept my DJI mic mini in the front pocket, and that's why you hear a lot of wind noise. Regardless of it being in the front pocket and the dead cat fur is also there in the mic, the wind still hits my body and that noise gets captured. So it works well if you put it in the back pocket, specifically inside a denim or something, or put it inside your bag where the wind noise that hits your body doesn't get captured. It depends what equipments you carry, and accordingly you'll have to do a lot of trial and tests to see what works best. I think the focus should be more on the ride rather than focusing on the gear, the vlogging or the talks, because you will then lose the charm of enjoying the ride and you're focused mostly doing the recordings. So that's why you need a gear which is very convenient and doesn't bother you a lot, and you still kind of capture the whole ride and the engine note. Now as we move forward, we see that the sun has come out a bit, and that's good news. So we continue our ride because as I mentioned that I have to do some amount of kilometers to make sure that the bike goes to service with at least 600-700 kilometers. So we continue our ride, and the views also were better now. If you've seen my past videos, then you would kind of recognize this road. This is where on the left hand side you have the Cafe Coffee Day where we usually stop. But no, today we are not going to stop here. We're going to go forward and explore something new because I have to do more kilometers. So hence we start going further and let's see where we're going to stop at. I know a few people asked me whether your wrists and back hurt a lot while riding it and if I would recommend this bike or not. Well, to my surprise, on highways you don't feel that pain a lot because of the wind that is hitting your chest and you kind of are getting pushed backward. So on highways absolutely great to ride, but if you are in bumper to bumper traffic then it does feel tiring. You can still go for this bike, but it's not a tourer where you can ride really long kilometers like 500 600 kilometers. I think at max in a day you can do 200 250 kilometers. We stopped here a bit on the roadside just to click a photo or so, and then I also wanted to give a little bit of relaxation to my back and wrist because I was riding for almost 1.5 hours now. So we stopped here for a bit and then we'll continue our ride. So here the camera got messed up a little. It was looking downwards and I did not realize it, but luckily enough after some time I did notice that in the rear view mirror that a lot of green is showing up, so which means that it is facing downwards. So I stopped and again corrected the cam. So this is the hassle I was talking about. So it's a little tricky to use this cam. So finally we are here at the location. This is Highway Star. It is ahead of Cafe Coffee Day in Narsapura, almost maybe 20-30 kilometers ahead, but it's a good place. You can always come here, have good food. If I remember well, we reached there around 8:30 that day. I had crossed this place once, but I had never stayed here or entered inside. So this is also the first time for us to come inside and explore what is there. There are quite a lot of food joints, but not a lot of them were open because it was just 8 in the morning. And they mentioned around 9:30 all of them open. So we were trying to find out where do we sit. So there was chai point there. We have some food joints inside as well. So we decided to go inside and see what's there and have our food. Now here we look totally confused because we were confused whether to go to chai point or go inside and wait for McDonald's and others that were there, but some were open, some were not. So and then we had Mayas here. I didn't want to have idli dosa here, so I didn't take that. KFC also was not open, Domino's was also not open. So whatever was open we found coffee, tea and then chicken nuggets, so we ate that. Now we did not stay a lot there. We spent around half an hour, just finished our food, and we did not completely have our food or breakfast properly. So we decided we're not going to have idli dosa here because I was particular that I want to have my idli dosa only in Annapurna. So we decided we are going to go back, and halfway where we find Annapurna I'm just going to have 1 or 2 idlis because I really love how they prepare idlis and dosas there. It's pretty authentic. If you have not visited, do visit and let me know how the food is. In the upcoming few days we are going to a road trip for 4 to 5 days, so I will not be having my bike, and once I come back I will be uploading a lot of travel videos. So stay tuned to see where we visited and what we explored. After the Cafe Coffee Day in Narsapura, we do have 2-3 spots where we do visit. One is the Gold Mine Cafe, and then you have the Highway Star which we visited today, and you have Woody's also, that is also pretty good. So you can come and visit these places. It's a good ride also, and then the sites are also good looking. If you notice, my mobile is mounted, that is not for the GPS, but actually I mounted it to set the angle of my Pocket 3 cam, because it was getting distorted quite a few times. So I put it there and it connects through Wi-Fi, and you can exactly see where it is pointing to. So that's the reason here it looks a lot better when the angle is perfectly set. But then again, another problem comes up with the mobile. You cannot see the speedometer. So yeah, again another challenge. So later I would remove the mobile as well, because I didn't want to cut the speedometer view. Notice this part where the bus conductor actually throws a bottle out of the window. I was not close enough, but if I had been there, it definitely would have hit me. Even if it is a KSRTC bus, but see the kind of civic sense this conductor is displaying. I went and confronted him, but then he was smiling. So he's not even ashamed of what he did. So we are arriving at the old Annapurna Café or restaurant. This is not the Annapurna Grand, this is the old one which the owner had, and we usually used to come this one. The grand one is on the other side, so while returning this is better to access, and the food is having the same taste, so you can visit this or that, any of it is fine. Sometimes some of the most authentic and good tasting food you find in smaller shops rather than in the bigger restaurants. So this is also kind of one of them. It's not too big or lavish, but trust me, the food is really good, and that's the reason I keep coming back here. So that was our Sunday, guys. We just had breakfast in two different places, and we kind of were done for the day. So we would ride back home. It will take some time, and I didn't want to waste your time showing the same traffic videos. So guys, that's all for today. And if you have watched it this long, thank you again. We're going to come back with more videos, travel and vlogging videos in bike. So definitely watch if you like this channel.